standing here with a giant man, Curt Schilling, head of 38 Studios and responsible for Kingdom of Amalur, Reckoning, that you finally get to show off in public, or to the journalists here at the EA Showcase event. How's that make you feel?
I'm excited. I'm proud. I'm more proud than anything. I know if you saw me talking, I think I was smiling a lot. I wanted to talk about it for years, and to finally see the fruits of their labor come to fruition, to get to show their work, I'm so proud of what they've achieved. There's a lot more to go, but it's way beyond my expectations, and I think it's got a chance to be a memorable game.
You really built sort of a dream team there with 38 Studios, and you've been working on your MMO and on this game, and how's everything coming together, and what kind of place is 38 Studios these days?
It's a phenomenal place. We're getting ready to move our studio, our headquarters, into Providence, Rhode Island. We're at about 250 people between the Baltimore and Boston studios right now. Reckoning is in its final stages. The MMO, Copernicus, codename Copernicus, is in development. Todd and RA and Ken are all heavily involved in helping, and it's magical to watch it happen. We've got an incredibly talented group of people, very passionate and committed to each other and to the project, and we're seeing the fruits of their labors now.
Can you walk us through, like, just who came on when and how the project has grown since you started?
Yeah, well, I mean, both Todd and RA were two guys that came on initially when I founded the company. I wanted to create buzz. And I wanted to bring in two guys that were as good as anybody in the world at what they did. And I don't think anybody writes and creates heroes and stories and worlds like RA. And I think Todd artistically and from an animation perspective has an eye that no one else has. And so they were the first two guys on board very early on. And then Ken Ralston and the Oblivion guys from Bethesda became part of the team when we acquired BHG 2 years ago. And it's been a match made in heaven. They've all three brought incredible passion and commitment to the people as much as anything. And so I've got Todd kind of mentoring and training and helping teach the artists and the animators, and RA is kind of the backbone of the design team and helping them nurture that story and this huge, beautiful world and bring it to life.
I think if anyone said that, like, the first project for a developer would be an MMO, they would say that those developers are crazy.
Yep.
And if someone said the first project is going to be an open world RPG, those developers are crazy. And you're going with both.
Yeah, well, I'm crazy, and there's no question about that. I've often said time and time again, why the hell wouldn't we just make a puzzle game to start with? That would have been a whole lot easier and cheaper. But I want to be the best in the world at what we do. I want us to be the best in the world at what we do, and I want us to, in a sense, change the world with what we do. And these are two games that I think are well on their way to helping us do that.
The visual style of Reckoning is a bit unique. Can you tell us a little bit, like, what kind of fancy you're going for and how the game, the visual style of the game?
The color palette is something that there's a lot of time and effort behind that. I think if you watch some of the demos today, they all have their unique style, but I don't know that any game had as much color as ours brought to the table, and that's a big deal to artists. And you've got this massive, massive world that is Amalur, that the MMO is set in, that the RPG is set in, everything we're going to be doing is set in, and that literally was about a year's worth of work on the art team's part to find that style and to find that feel that was going to be unique and different. And the key is, I think, Blizzard hit it on the head when WoW came out. Their art was not technically driven. You're going to be able to see the beauty of our world, the amazing palette of colors, on a machine that isn't a NASA mainframe when we launch. And that's, in trying to keep that art style vibrant and alive for multiple years, you have to have an art style that isn't reliant on technology to be beautiful.
So you would say this is an art style of Amalur more than it is of Reckoning, or could that change with different?
Well, I mean, they're one and the same from a foundational perspective. I mean, there's going to be a lot of similarities when you log into the MMO from a color palette and style pattern that you see in Reckoning, because it's the same world. And the Age of Arcana, which is the time period which the Reckoning story is set, is the time previous to the launch of the MMO, but the races are the same, the histories are the same, the people are the same to some degree. There are races, NPC races in the RPG that will become playable races in the MMO. So they all had to have a history, a story, lore to them, and they all have style guides and color palettes. You'll see these massive, like, Jotun-looking things that are ogreish-looking You know, that's a race that has its own history, its own storyline, its own color palette, its own stylized architecture. All of our races got that treatment. So when they come online, there's a reason behind everything that they do.
So you would say that anyone who's interested in the MMO should first get their teeth stuck into...
Well, sure, I mean, that's the hope. I mean, that, you know, the Reckoning is for the Xbox, PlayStation, and the PC, and the MMO is being built for the PC alone. Yes, we would love all of the MMO fans of the world to think that Reckoning is cool enough and unique enough that they're going to want to play it before they play the MMO, but you don't have to. I mean, you know, we're trying to make it so anyone that becomes a guest or a customer of 38 Studios can benefit from the experience of being in one game and moving to another. You want to obviously treat your most loyal customers as you know, well, but they're standalone experiences. So yes, they connect, but if you only play one, you're still going to have an amazing experience.
Is there like a different philosophy for storytelling in between making an open world RPG and an MMO?
Well, you know, they're two very different games. So in a sense, yes, but RA only, I don't want to say in a negative way, he tells stories the way RA tells stories, and it's on the art and the design team to find those bigger stories and cut them down and bring smaller threads into the game. I think the key from a storytelling perspective and from a world perspective is that everything in our world has a purpose and a reason. There aren't ruins in a place to put ruins in a place. They exist for a reason. There was a race that lived there and something happened. And if you're interested, you can always find out why and how everything is what it is. And that, to me, those are the guys that search out for all the data online, and you know, we want to be able to provide that.
And I guess you announced the approximate release date, 2012. Where are you at in development right now, and are things starting to come together?
We're very far along. I mean, you know, the demo you're going to see today hopefully will blow you away, and when you understand that that's not finished, that hopefully will be even more impressive. But right now, we've got a pretty nice window of time to polish this game and make it what we hope to be perfect.
And I guess there's no point in rushing it out this fall when Bethesda's got Skyrim prepped for launch.
Well, I mean, you got to be business smart. If you look at all the stuff coming out in the latter half of this year, it's Elder Scrolls V, Mass Effect 3. We're an original IP. We're an original story, and that's a little risk on top of everything else we're already doing. But I know we believe in what we've done, so we want to make sure it has its own window of opportunity to succeed. At the end of the day, if we can get the eyes on the game, then the only blame that can be put on is us, because I believe if you see it, you're going to want to play it, and I believe if you see the demo, you're going to want to buy it, and at that point, it's up to us.
For each life, a reckoning.